where to begin with this. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so this is a mock paycheck for Hope Marie Kinsley at some corporation in Durham, North Carolina. It has her social security number, employee ID. This is the check number, and then over here it says pay period and pay date. Okay, so pay period is the dates in which this person is working. So here we have pay period from 5/1 to 5/15, so May 1st to May 15th. And this is when the person worked. So just make a note. When the person worked. So this person worked from May 1st to May 15th, and that's where this money is coming from. Then we have the pay date over here. Pay date is May 21st. So this is when the person actually got paid for these dates worked. When they got paid. Notice, and this is something that you might not realize until your first job, is that let's say you started working on May 1st, it would take 3 weeks to actually get a paycheck. So you're working nonstop for 3 weeks before you actually see any money. When you're living at home, I guess it's not that big of a deal because you probably don't have like regular bills coming in. But as an adult, when you start a job, that whole like 3-week wait of like no paycheck can be a long time when you're trying to pay like rent and stuff. Like think about it. If your rent's due May 1st and then you don't get a paycheck for 2 weeks later and you're like, I'm working but I don't have a paycheck, it's a long wait. So that's why it's important to start working when you are still living with your parents and everything. So that way that cushion, you'll have a better cushion. Okay, so from there, let's go ahead and look over at this side over here. This is all the earnings. So this side is earnings, this side is deductions. We're going to look at earnings, the good side. So we have income and gross wages. Have you seen that word gross yet in your classes? Where?
I've seen it in history class, like gross domestic pay.
Okay, yeah.
Take a marketing class, so like gross net.
Somebody in my last class said in science when we're doing dissections, it's gross. Anyways, so gross is how much you earn before deductions. So gross would be total earned before deductions. You see the word gross a lot of times in like business type stuff. It would be like how much you earn before expenses. And then we see, it says rate. Hey, that's a math word. Rate, it just says 15.00. What it's referring to is how much this person is making per hour. This person is making about $15 per hour. Pretty good wage. Is that about what you guys make at like entry-level jobs? I heard minimum wage is about 11, right? Or is that true?
That's about how much I make. But
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay, so $15 an hour. And then this person worked 40 hours. So hours 40. 40 is number of hours worked. But be careful because this paycheck is for 2 weeks. So they're working 40 hours over 2 weeks. So this would be like 20 hours a week is what this person's working. So this right here would be the gross wages. Keep switching up the colors because it's fun. Okay. This is gross wages. Gross wages. So this is how much this person earned, $600. Okay. So from here, and just kind of consider these numbers in perspective, $600 every 2 weeks, that would be $1,200 a month. If you consider the fact that rent these days is probably closer to like $2,000 a month, $1,200 a month wouldn't even really cover rent. It's not a lot of money in terms of like supporting yourself. Maybe in high school it's good, but in terms of like the big people world, it's not enough yet. So then down here, it says YTD, YTD, YTD. What YTD stands for, good job, year to date. How did you know that?
stocks.
Yes, year to date. And what that even means is from the beginning of the year, January 1st, until now, that is how much this person has earned. So in this case, it's from January 1st to May 15th. This is how much the person has earned. One of the questions that comes up on the quiz is how many paychecks has this person gotten this year? So from January 1st to May 15th, how many paychecks would that be? Well, in January, you would get 2 paychecks. Then February, another 2. March, another 2. April, 2. And then 1 paycheck in May so far. So 9 paychecks for the year so far. So if you wanted an average of how much you're making on each paycheck, you could divide that by 9. And then year-to-date deductions. This is the money taken out. So deductions, money taken out. Now, some of you are thinking, oh, that's the taxes. Some of it is, some of it isn't, and we'll look at what it is. But just the fact that she's made $5,400, $2,800 is taken out, over half of it. And then year-to-date net pay. So net pay, that's your take-home pay, what actually goes in your bank account. Take-home pay. Now we're going to look at deductions. So this is what she's earning. Now we're going to look at what's like getting taken out, deductions. So maybe just outline this. Deductions, this was getting taken out of your paycheck before you even see the money that you earned. Yikes, the part nobody likes, deductions. Okay, so there's some abbreviations here. Now these abbreviations can change a little bit from paycheck to paycheck, but by law, companies have to take this money out of your paycheck. So it is on your paycheck somewhere. What the abbreviation is might differ, but it's all on your paycheck. So first thing, it says FICA Med Tax. What that is for Medicare. What is Medicare? We're going to get to that on the other side of this page, but just write Medicare for right now. So Medicare is based on a percentage. Medicare is 1.45% of your pay. So as you make more money, you're paying more in this Medicare tax. And then she's paying $8.70 out of this paycheck, and then you double that to find out how much she's paying for Medicare tax per month, which would be $16. Okay, we can deal with that. $16 doesn't seem like a lot, but these kind of grow. So SS tax, yep, Social Security. And again, we'll get to what exactly that means. Some of you may have a brief understanding. Social Security. And the percentage that goes to Social Security is 6.2% of your wages. So again, as you make more money, the more you're paying in that tax. And then we have Fed tax. That's the big one. That's federal income tax. This is how the government runs. Federal income tax. And it's the biggest. Here, look, $90 of the $600 that this person earned is going to federal income tax. And that's taken out twice a month. So $180 a month, federal income tax. That's actually more than this person's health insurance. Yeah, it's a big chunk. And then the next one, it says NC state tax. Some states take a specific tax for their state. In Florida, we have no state income tax. So just make a note, no Florida state income tax. So that is a big draw to living in our state, is that there's no state income tax.
What is it for?
To fund stuff in the state. I don't know. Okay. Then down here. So these are things that are taken out that are government taking out this money out of your paycheck automatically. Now these are things that you can kind of opt into depending. Health insurance, I believe it's required, but it's kind of tricky. So a lot of companies only offer you health insurance if you work over 30 hours a week, which if you work in the restaurant industry, I don't know if it's still this way, Katie, but they won't give you over 30 hours, so they don't have to offer you health insurance. Is that still true?
I'm not sure, just because I'm a minor, and so I take breaks after like 4 hours and stuff.
Got it. So you couldn't work 30 hours. When I used to work in the restaurant industry, they would only allow you to work up to 30 hours. Because if you work over 30 hours, then the company has to offer you health insurance, which in them offering health insurance, you still have to pay for health insurance. You just become part of their program. It's weird. It's really weird. Health insurance is weird. Okay, but this person is taking $76.58 out of every paycheck, so that's twice a month. So the person's paying about $160 a month for their health insurance, which is pretty common for like one person. Health insurance would be about that much. And then dental insurance. Now, dental insurance is completely optional. You can choose whether you want to do dental insurance. In my experience, dental insurance, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it makes me go get my teeth cleaned because I'm already paying for it. But it comes out to about the same amount as getting teeth cleanings. Like, you could pay for your teeth cleanings out of pocket or pay for dental insurance, and it would be about the same amount.
So then why get dental insurance?
Well, if you have bigger issues, I also find that if I don't have dental insurance, like taking my whole family to the dentist would be like $800 out of pocket, and I would like put that off if you know what I mean? So just by like having it taken out of my paycheck, it makes sure I'm getting like our teeth cleaned. Then retirement. Retirement, depending on the company, totally different. It's a pre-tax deduction. So you don't get taxed on this money that you're taking out, which is nice. You do have to pay taxes when you take it out, but that's a whole nother thing. I know in the school district, this is automatically taken out. I don't get to choose. It's just taken out for retirement, like the pensions and stuff. Some companies, you choose how much they take out, or they'll match it, or different things. Every company is a little bit different. And then down here, so current total, this is how much the gross wages are. We don't need to redefine that. Current deductions are taking $315 out. And this is your net pay. This is the money that's getting put in the bank for all your other bills. We're going to flip this over and then talk about what these taxes are actually going towards. Okay, so flip it over. We're going to start with the smallest category and work toward the bigger ones. So the first one was FICA med tax. And this one was for Medicare. What is Medicare? I'm going to explain it. And if you have any information that's, personal to you, of course you aren't obligated to share, but if you know more information than I'm giving you, you're welcome to share with the class. So this for Medicare, you pay, as I mentioned, 1.45% of your gross income. What's interesting about this as well, and just to show you the full scope, so there's going to be, just so you can plan accordingly with space, we're going to have like two things here, and then you'll need this half of the page for something else. So if you want to break up your page so you have room for stuff. Okay. Okay, so you pay 1.45%, and the employer actually takes that out and pays the tax on your behalf. So your employer pays 2.9% of your income. So if you are the boss, for every employee, you have to take 2.9% of their wages and pay it to the government. Then what is Medicaid? Like the med tax funds Medicare. And what exactly is Medicare? It is medical treatment for 65 plus year olds. Old people. Shouldn't say that. 65 plus year olds.
What if you're younger than that?
So Medicare is specific for 65 plus. So once you retire, Medicare will help you with your medical expenses. I do know that a lot of elderly people choose to have additional coverage terms of this. So I don't know if it like doesn't cover a lot or whatnot, but it is to help with medical expenses of the retired. And then also and disabled. So if you're disabled and can't work like a normal person, then Medicare helps with your medical expenses. Okay, then the other tax that you're paying is the FICA SS tax. FICA SS tax. And this is Social Security. And when people hear this word, they think of Social Security number, but it means actually something different here. Social Security, you pay 6.2% of your income for your entire life. And then you get it back, kind of. Social Security is retirement benefits for old people. I didn't define a specific age because you get to choose when you start withdrawing from Social Security. You can start withdrawing, I believe, as young as 60 up to 67. The earlier you start drawing from Social Security, the less monthly payment you get. So when you get to retirement age, you can consider different options for Social Security, and there is a lot of different options, and that just changes how much you get paid. Also, how much you get paid from Social Security, this retirement benefit, is based on how much you've earned throughout your lifetime. So there's like different categories, and if you land within certain ranges of how much you've earned or put in throughout your lifetime, you get a higher Social Security benefit. And it does cap out too. So yeah, there's like a highest payment or amount. So this is also for the surviving spouse and minor kids of deceased parents. Okay, so this is like two different things. Okay, so if your husband dies, then depending on how you set up the Social Security benefit, you can actually get his Social Security benefit for the rest of your life. So let's say that you were like more of a stay-at-home mom, you didn't really pay into this, but your husband passes away, you get his benefit for the rest of your life, depending if you set it up that way. And then minor kids of deceased parents, if your parents die before you turn 18, then Social Security helps you somehow. I don't know the specifics, but there's some kind of benefit available. And then 3, disabled workers. So if you're disabled and you can't work and earn a livable wage, then you also get a Social Security check. Okay, now we're moving over to the biggest category, which was the most money that was taken out of this person's paycheck, and it's federal income tax. Federal income tax. And this is the one that people like complain about. The percentage of your wages that goes to federal income tax on the low end is about 10% to 37%. And based on your wage and which like income bracket you fall into, you pay more or less taxes. Okay, so what does federal income tax go to, and why are they taking like such a large chunk out of your paycheck? Think about it. If you made like $300,000 a year and 37% is given to the government, that's like $100,000 that they're taking from that person. Not taking, but using for federal purposes. So where is this going? So one thing is Medicaid. So there's Medicare and Medicaid. Two different things, well, slightly similar but different. Medicaid is low-income health care. So if you can't afford like health insurance or you fall within a certain income bracket, then there's low-income health care that'll actually pay for your health care. And then there's also CHIP, which is specifically for child health care. And the child health care is actually easier to qualify for than just like anybody health care. Like there's all like ranges of income, and if you're below a certain income, then you qualify for these programs. But certain ones like child health care, there's a wider range, if that makes sense. Okay, then another thing that federal income tax, defense and security, so your armed forces, defense and security. So this would be armed forces, the Army, the Navy, Space Force, that is funded all with income tax. And when you think about like the grand scale of the Army and the Navy, like the planes, the ships, all the people, and all that goes into it, I can imagine that's a big expense. Okay, then safety net programs. Net. The U.S. is kind of known for these because I believe we don't really discriminate for safety net program. Where if you go to another country and you just move there and you don't have like visa, green card, or citizenship status, then you can't apply for their country's like safety net programs. Where in the U.S. Will help you no matter what. You can actually even go to school in the U.S. without having proper paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So U.S. takes care of people. You can get here. So safety net programs that are available, that are funded by the federal income tax, is unemployment. So if you're unemployed, you're fired. Yes, if you are fired from a job, you can apply for unemployment and still get, obviously not your normal paycheck, but some money to survive. Then another one is, you may have heard of food stamps and EBT cards. So depending on what income level you are, you can apply for food